for here, if they are to run 27 minutes at 10 kilometers, then we're looking for something down around 2:42 per kilometer. And essential that these pacemakers get the job done right. Early stages at the moment, that's a big pack, much bigger than in the women's race. But critical, and of course a lot of people, Wendy, ask what is the point of pacemakers in races like this. Do you want to explain it? Did you ever benefit from them much?
No, unfortunately, I didn't, but I was very lucky in that most of the road races I ran in were mixed races, so there were always some club level athletes that I was able to latch on to perfectly to run the kind of times I was running back then, which unfortunately probably wouldn't hold it these days. I'm quite surprised though. I thought they were going to split into two fairly distinct groups, but they already seem to be all together at this early stage.
Well, they are, but there is only a minute on the clock. In the orange there is Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu of Ethiopia, just 19 years old, making his debut here, but he is a 13:06 performer at 5,000 meters. He's never raced further than 5K on the track or the roads, incidentally. He wears 36. Won a track 5,000 in France in June in 13:12, very comfortably indeed. Amos over on the far side there. That's Amos LANGAT, the 21-year-old Kenyan, small. And he's a 27:25 performer. That was in Tokyo back in May this year. The man from Nakuru, who lives in Iten, coached by Peter B, who is the coach of quite a few athletes in this race. He's an Arsenal fan, is LANGAT, wearing 39. But there he is, just in the background there, the tiny figure up against the far curb. And this is one of the pacemakers here, Maxime CHAUMETON of South Africa. He wears 45. I'd say pacemaker. I'm not sure he is a pacemaker, CHAUMETON, but you'd think he was, the way he's going at the moment. He's a 27:36 performer. Did that when he was 8th here in Brasov last year. Lives and trains in Zoo Lake, Johannesburg, coached by a certain Hendrik Ramala, former New York Marathon winner. Ramala, and indeed a man who was a half marathon specialist. Got a good CV though. He's CHAUMETON. There he is, 7:44 for 3,000, 13:19 for 5,000. He's a sub 4-minute miler. And he's pushing it on in these early stages. Not sure where the pacemakers are, as they need to go through 1 kilometer in about 2:42, so they're well past that already. We'll get the 1.5 kilometer split. That's coming up, in about 200 meters time.
Well, maybe he just decided it was going to be his day today and has gone to the front. It feels quite brave at this early stage and with that quality field around you, but I'm guessing he's feeling like he's quite comfortable, although he's signalling to his right there. I wonder whether he's looking for someone to come and just take the pace away from him. Yeah, you can see a couple of gestures there.
Well, it'll be interesting to see what the time comes up at 1.5 kilometers, won't it? Because if they're on 27-minute tempo, they should go through in about 3:58, so they should have been through that already. And that hasn't come up as yet, as we see some of those leading names passing through. But it's a massive pack. Jack Turnbull, he is a man making his debut here this morning. Victor Kiprono, you could see in the background there, but the tempo is quick. Already athletes peeling off the back, and these are pretty big gaps with only 4.5 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, it's strange. I'm not quite sure what's going on in the race at the moment. Maxime CHAUMETON doesn't really want to be at the front there, and yet he's having to, because I think he's finding it quite comfortable.
Well, that split 4:10 rather, at 1.5K is way outside 28 minutes, so they really have set off at a conservative tempo. I don't think there's any wind out there. Just looking at the trees around the commentary box here at the start-finish area, there's almost zero wind, so I'm not quite sure why this first mile or so has been on the conservative side. But as is the case with all great road races, you need to get on schedule in the early stages if you're to secure fast times. And I reckon these athletes have got about 5 minutes in which to get back on schedule and to really dial down to a fast race tempo. There in the all red, nearest the camera, is just looking, it's a Laban. I'm trying to see if I can spot this. Yes, Laban KOSGEI making his debut. He's only run 28.44 on the track, but he's coached by Patrick Sang, who is coach to a certain Eliud Kipchoge, and he has run 13.17 back in July for 5,000 meters. He's got good leg speed, so it'll be interesting to see if he can live with this. A lot of athletes here stepping into new territory. They're 5,000 meter specialists, but maybe we'll find 10K a little bit on the long side.
Yeah, there's a group there, about a dozen, I think. Seem to hopefully have picked it up a little bit. As you were saying, Tim, it's 10K's not that far. You haven't got a great deal of time to make up a slow start. And as I was saying earlier, I think I had the rather blunt tactic of just going out pretty hard for the first mile and hanging on in there, and they seem to have gone out very conservatively.
Well, there's what, about 12 or 13 in this pack. And yes, they have gone out conservative, there's no doubt about it. That split at 1.5K, 4:10 has them just about 28:10 tempo. Looking at Amos LANGAT, back in, what, about 3rd place on the inside there. As they now have, what, 7.5 minutes on the clock, and that split 4:10 with CHAUMETON of South Africa, ironically one of the non-East African born athletes in this pack, if not the only one, leading them through the first mile. Nobody's really got the bull by the horns as yet, pushed on strongly in these early stages. Amos there to the right of picture, I think is Amos LANGAT, although there is an Amos KIPKEMOI in there as well, so just Amos and his number is not a great deal of help.
Yeah, I have to say, time-wise, this is slightly disappointing, and there's probably a great race about to unfold here, but I would have thought these men with times ranging between 27 minutes to 28 minutes, they would have wanted to go out at a slightly harder pace, given the great conditions here and the lovely flat course. But perhaps they've just decided to race it out instead.
I was going to say, they're not at 3K yet, and look at the time, 8:40 now. And really, if they were going to be dialed down to something super quick at 3K, you know, if they were going to be on, say, 27-minute tempo, 27:30 tempo at 3K is 8:15, and now they pass 3K in about, what, 9 minutes? That can't be right. That cannot be right. We'll take these, I think, some of these distance markers with a pinch of salt until we get a little bit more firm confirmation. The next timing mat should be, well, we know there's a 5K timing mat, and we would hope they'll be down there well inside 14 minutes at 5K. That pack has whittled down a little bit. There it is, 3K, 8:21. It is slow. They haven't picked it up. Remember, it was 4:10 at 1.5K, 8:21 at 3K. That is, yeah, it's about 28-minute flat tempo. There's an opportunity here for somebody to put in a really hard burst and to pull this field apart and maybe get a gap on the rest of the pack. And it does look to me a little like it's Khairi BEJIGA here, the 19-year-old Ethiopian wearing 36, who says, right, enough is enough. He's got that 3K split, and maybe he's had a shout from somebody on the sideline saying, come on, wind it up. You're wasting an opportunity here of a really quick time. You've got 7K to go, 6.5K to go. You've got time in which to retrieve a quick time this morning. But if you leave it another 5 minutes or so, when you're approaching halfway, then you will have lost that opportunity. Yeah, and there is a sense of urgency in that pack now, I think.
Yes, I think they've suddenly woken up and realised that they're wasting an opportunity here, not just to have a good race, but also to come away with a fast time. And Bejinga there, we haven't got a 10K time down for him. I think this could be his debut here at only 19. He's got a 5K of 13:06 to his credit back in the summer. So not bad time on the track for a 19-year-old.
Not bad, no. Vincent KIPKORIR. Well, that's not him, that's Khairi BEJIGA. Looking for Vincent KIPKORIR. There he is in the background in that sort of purple short. Third from right is Vincent KIPKORIR. 27:08, he ran in Herzogenaurach back in April. He's only done one half marathon, that was a 61:18, but it was in the altitude of Nairobi at about 6,000 feet, so, and that was a couple of years ago. He's got huge potential. Came third in the Durban 10K back in July in 27:48, but with a 27:08 personal best. And I know that circuit in Herzogenaurach, it's the Adidas campus. It's certainly not dead flat. So 27:08 suggests he has sub 27-minute potential, Vincent KIPKORIR, for potential. There's what, about 10 in that pack now with 12 minutes on the clock, so they're not a long way off halfway at the moment. We'll get that 5-kilometer split for you in a couple of minutes' time. I'm beginning to think now, we're getting so many of these side-on shots, we should have asked them to have numbers on their shorts. As in track races, because with no numbers on their backs, no numbers on their sides, it's getting hard to identify one or two of these athletes. Although, good to see BEJIGA, his full name, Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu, making his debut here, striding out, doing some aggressive running and wrestling some respectability into the middle stages of this race.
Well, we saw in the women's race that the 5K specialists did perform pretty well. And with this being BEJIGA's debut 10K, perhaps he's just feeling that speed in his legs and is giving it a good shot.
Mind you, I made that mistake myself a few years back in I think it was the Paris-Versailles race, which is about a 9-mile race, about 15 kilometers, and I was coming into it off 5,000-meter form, lots of speed in my legs. I felt great for the first half of the race. In the second half of the race, you began to realize that you hadn't really put in the work for a full 15K race. So 13 minutes on the clock. They've just gone through. That wasn't 5K, was it? No, surely not. Well, actually it was. 13:34 at 5K has come up. Khairi BEJIGA, 13:34 at 5K. He has worked really hard this last 5 or 6 minutes to get that time respectable, because if the 3K split was to be believed, and I can't, 8:22, surely 13:34 is a lot quicker than 8:22, if you know what I mean. But that's good. That's really good news. 5K and 13:34 for this lead pack, and it is Khairi BEJIGA doing all the work, and he's bouncing along well, isn't it? And isn't it fascinating, Wendy, when you think that he's 19 years old and he's leading this field, he's got the confidence to go out this hard and test this field. And there are athletes in there like Francis Abong, who I was talking to in the hotel this morning, who's 29 years old, who's run close to 27:30. His coach is here, Julian De Maria, and he was saying, you know, he's got loads and loads of experience. He's hoping for a quick time this morning, although he is a Man United fan, so maybe we shouldn't believe everything he says with their recent form. But it's great when you see the confidence of these young East Africans, be they Kenyan, Ethiopian, Tanzanian, Ugandan. They've got so many great mentors. They're so lucky in that respect. They've got so many great heroes to feed off and to help them believe.
I think one thing you can say about BEJIGA, he's made this race interesting I think we were all wondering what was going on in the early stages, but he's pushed on the pace, and perhaps not having run a 10K before, he's got less inhibitions about the distance. However, he did look behind him for some help just then. Perhaps he's enjoyed his stint at the front and is now looking to someone else to take it on.
Well, 13:34 at 5,000 meters would suggest something down around 27-minute tempo, and yet they were 8:22 at 3,000, and that was more like 28-minute tempo. So, yeah, that 2 kilometers between 3K and 5K, Bejiga has really injected some respectability to this. And now look, CHAUMETON, Maxime CHAUMETON of South Africa, glancing across as if to say, come on, why are you easing off? They've got, they're still on the second lap. They've still got about 12 minutes of hard running to come. And they've slowed and they've allowed this South African 25-year-old to go to the front. He is a great racer, 27:36 last year. Hendrik Ramala coached South African, won the South African 5,000 title in Potchefstroom back in April. That was at altitude. And maybe he's been training at altitude and is able to rub shoulders with the best of these other East Africans.
I'm loving the way they're all looking at each other. You've got Maxime CHAUMETON and Victor Kiprono there, glancing back and forth to each other. I think no one seems to want to take it on, although I'm not quite sure why, because there's no wind out there.
Well, I think perhaps one reason why one or two athletes have eased off is because 13:34 at 5,000 is pretty healthy. They're only a few seconds outside 27-minute tempo. We're rejoined back in the commentary box in now for a couple of minutes by the great Paul Turgat. Paul, welcome back. This is building up nicely. 13:34 at 5K. There's still a chance here to go sub 27 minutes.
Yes, looking in terms of the pace is picking up. And look at this young man. The guy who's leading now is doing so well.
Now, his coach is Hendrik Ramala. And you had a fantastic race with Hendrik Ramala at the New York Marathon.
Yes.
I remember it was a dip finish. Did Ramala win? I think he did, Paul Turgat.
No, I won.
Did you win? Did you win?
Yes, in New York.
But by about a meter. It was
yes, just very close.
26 miles of racing, and there was about a meter between you at the finish line.
And Ramala, and as I said again, I'm very proud to see that Ramala is giving back the sport, coaching these young athletes, and I'm happy to see this.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Hendrik is watching this, Hendrik, some great memories from your days as a great racer. There we are, 6.5K, 17:41. That puts them on schedule for about 27:20. So CHAUMETON here, who did a lot of the hard work in the early stages and is now working hard again, as they have about less than 10 minutes of racing to come at 6.5K, 17:41. And he's heading here, if he can hold on to this CHAUMETON, he's giving a wonderful account of himself, brave running from the front. He's heading for a personal best.
Yes, and you could see, as I said again, that the course is so flat and everything is going on so well now.
Paul, if you'd been in this race, in this sort of situation, would you be thinking the victory is the most important thing, or would you be pushing on, looking for a quick time, and you want to test the others and use your strength?
You see, after running for quite a number of good races for some time, the only thing that, especially when you see the kind of the course that they are having here, very flat course, so you are always trying to go for the best times.
Well, in the all red there, just struggling to go with this pace is Laban KOSGEI. He's just 19 years old, making his debut here. He's having a great run, mind you. He's going to run a massive best time. He's run 28:44 on the track, but he's going to run something probably more than a minute quicker than that if he can hold it together on this third lap. They are now on the final circuit of 3. CHAUMETON, glancing around him there, was looking back at Bejiga, Khairi BEJIGA of Ethiopia. He's just 19 years old. CHAUMETON at 25 has a few more years of hard training in his legs. But I really admire running like this, Paul, where you're just throwing caution to the wind, giving it everything, testing the others and trying to maximize your potential. I think one thing he's probably playing through his mind is these guys work so hard in training, day after day, month after month. Why would he want to run in a tactical race on a perfect circuit like this, a fast circuit?
CHAUMETON, you look, is really focused now, and you see now they're getting a distance now, and I believe that they know that time is coming very fast, so they are pushing now. Can you see? They are doing very well now. So hoping that maybe in the next few, maybe a kilometer, I think we'll be able to know who's going to win now here.
Well, he's testing this group, CHAUMETON. He's really got the bit between his teeth. He's got his head down. And they're tucked in behind him in single file. And it is doing damage. He's getting reward. And I guess when you're front running like this, Paul, it's a game of patience. You just have to keep punching away at the front and know that you're hurting those behind you. You have to have that confidence.
Exactly, and that's why once you know, and especially when, like now, that there are a few kilometers to go, so it's about what now? It's running very fast, 2:47.
No, that's the kilometer distance to go. In the pink is the distance to go.
Okay.
Coming up, so just under 2.5K to go.
To go, yes, exactly, yeah. So lovely to see them that are pushing very fast now.
But about 6 minutes of hard running to come on this final circuit. That's Victor Kiprono. He's, back in about 5th place and actually being passed there, I think, by Laban KOSGEI. He's going through a bad patch. But you can see these two are away now. Right, it is CHAUMETON who leads. Right behind him there is Bejiga, Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu. Yeah. And Dilgasu is at the front now. And he kicks hard. And this pair, as CHAUMETON, has tested everybody but this one 19-year-old Ethiopian.
I think now this is done. It shows that there is now a difference between the first and second in the third group.
And we just saw CHAUMETON in the white vest there have a little glance over his shoulder, and that's always a very telling sign. If you're under pressure and you can't go with a surge, and this is an impressive surge from Bejiga Dilgasu, the Ethiopian, it's a real sign that you're under pressure. You're worrying about what's behind you, not what's in front of you.
Yeah, that is what is now worried. What's the second team, which is behind him. But Bejiga, it looked like he's gone. He's gone.
Paul, it doesn't look like we're going to see a Kenyan winner here today, but I know you want to go down there and greet the winners when they come in. He's only, 4 or 5 minutes away. Thank you so much for joining us. Maybe we can catch up later on.
Okay, exactly. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So the race reaching a wonderful climax now. Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu of Ethiopia. This is his debut over 10 kilometers, can you believe? He's only done 5,000 on the track and 5Ks on the road. He ran 13:22 in a 5K road race in Saudi Arabia last December. But this is first ever 10K on the race, on the roads. He has run 13:06 a couple of times this last summer over 5,000. There we are at 8.5K, 22:52. So they have picked it up, and CHAUMETON has done so much of the hard work here. And 22:52, let me tell you, is right on 27-minute tempo. It's exactly 27-minute tempo. So we could see a sub 27-minute clocking here.
It's amazing, given the early part of this race, to see now this young man coming through with a likely 27-minute time. It's going to depend a lot on this last kilometre or so. We're currently at just under 24 minutes, and yeah, he's coming down the final stretch now.
Well, Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu pouring it on here. And I tell you what, you've got to admire the work from Maxime CHAUMETON of South Africa there in second place, because he has hung on to the coattails of the Ethiopian here, and it's kept him clear of his pursuers. He's doing wonderfully well. Victor KIPRUTO and Cornelius KEMBOI back in third and fourth, battling away. But they are on 27-minute tempo, maybe just under 27 minutes, sub 27-minute tempo. I can tell you that only 26 men in history have ever gone under 27 minutes. This would be special. The race record, 26:51. I don't know if that's in danger. That was by Amos KIPKORIR back in 2022 when he won by 4 seconds from well-done Kipkirui. But he's having to work so hard here, Khairi BEJIGA. Surely now he's heading for sub 27 minutes, because he's pouring it on in these last few minutes.
And wouldn't you love it for the race director, Daniel Santos here, if this young man was to get under 27 minutes today, with all the concerns about the weather over the last 48 hours and all the work that the volunteers and various people involved with this event have gone to make it something special. And I think this would be a remarkable performance by Khairi BEJIGA.
Well, 3 years ago here, the first 3 men went below 27 minutes when Kipkirui set the course record, 26.51. Behind him, Baldvin Kipkirui and Isaac Ndiema both produced 26.55 in second and third. In fact, on that day, I can tell you the first 14 athletes ran personal bests. They were brilliant conditions, and they're brilliant conditions here this morning. And look at this, Maxime CHAUMETON closing, maybe, on Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu here, into the last minute or two. And CHAUMETON, a sub-4 minute miler. He's a 13.19 5,000 meter runner. He's closing him here on Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu. This is going to be a race for the ages. Watch the clock. It's going to be super fast now as these two negotiate the last few hundred meters. I wonder if BEJIGA there, in the orange and white, is aware of the man behind him closing. Maxime CHAUMETON could be heading here, the South African, for the biggest win of his life if he can stay with and maybe outsprint this Ethiopian.
I cannot believe the way Maxime CHAUMETON has managed to gather some additional energy to catch up with BEJIGA here. He's right on his shoulder as they turn this last corner.
They negotiate this last corner. Look at the clock, 26.38 on the clock. The course record, remember, 26.51 by Nicholas Kipkorir. 3 years ago, they sprint for the line now, and Khairi BEJIGA Dilgasu has got the legs, he has got the speed, he sprints for the line now, crosses the line there now in 26.53, unofficially, super fast running here in Brasov. He outsprints CHAUMETON, who has run 26.54 surely, and that would be a new South African record. The winning time, 26.54, is confirmed. CHAUMETON behind the Ethiopian Khairi BEJIGA. Maxime CHAUMETON, the South African, in second, 26.55. Incredible racing here. Quicker, relatively speaking, than the women's race, as CHAUMETON has to take so much